So even me, in being in a new environment like that, I was overwhelmed. And I think one of these years I did look up my name. Jordan meant go with the flow. So like I'd literally be going with the flow sometimes, even into situations that is uncharted territory and I have no idea how to get out of. So there were times in grade 7 and 8 when I felt like, so like, yes, there would be guys I would like. They have different qualities too, but it wasn't like I had a different guy that I like every grade. But yeah, there's alright. If he sees this video, I hope he just laughs it off too. I'm not even gonna say his name, but there.
Oh yeah.
I used to like a boy whose Christianity was Rastafari. So
I'm tell her, you know.
Oh my gosh. So this was like
his religion.
This feels like decades ago. His religion was Rastafari, because I just read the other day, Rastafari don't associate with the ending words ism and schism, something about that. So it's Rastafari. So yeah, he was deep in his beliefs, I was deep in mine, and like sometimes we wouldn't even recognize that we're from different religions. We just see each other as individuals. In school we see each other. So like he was like the first actually I have no boyfriend, but he was like my first guy friend. Yes, he was my first guy friend. And like there were many things, not many things per se, but there were times when I felt like, what am I doing? And like I think, I'm gonna say, there were times when I knew like I shouldn't be in a relationship.
What?
I was just feeling what I was feeling. Like there's intense emotions that you just know too. So then like certain things that you know you
How did he? Alright.
Whoa, I feel attacked. Anyway,
How did you deal with it? I mean,
how I dealt
did
with
your
it?
parents know?
Like,
such and such?
they knew at some point, because there's a little thing that's called parent-teacher meetings where the parents will know will know this kid, and then all of a sudden they know the parents too. So like I think my mom finally knew this guy named so and so when she met their parents, and
His parents.
and there were times that I would talk about this friend who was a guy. But ever since then, oh God, that's why I normally have friends who are girls now. Okay, if you hear that you have a friend who's a guy, the parents will just say, who is this guy? What is
the
he like?
interrogation.
Remember the joke I ran with you about?
As long as it does not include the name.
No, if you're ever with that. Anyway, let's hope he finds it now.
But I'm not. Anyway.
So alright. Let's look at some of the challenges that teenagers actually go through. How was bullying? Was there a bullying situation that you were at?
Well, at high school, bullying is not what you think it is. So like bullying would be like picking on this girl because she wear this, because she wear that, because she fat or she skinny. That was like primary school and kindergarten. Cause like people just say things like that. It's like they're like learning new words, so they just use them on you whether negative or positive. But in high school, it's like a psychological war zone because people, it's like they'll say, alright, for example, let's say you look fat, right? So they'll either talk about your clothes or you're eating something. So like they're saying, Jordan, you having nuggets and fries again today? Like I brought food from home, my mom made this and that. During the time like I'm eating, I'm like, yeah. Because your parents can wake up and make you breakfast. I just carry cereal or just buy lunch or whatever. So like they would literally two things. They'll talk about you behind your back, inconspicuously, even to your friends. And the second thing is that they will literally insult you without using the word. Like in high school, they teach you to make use of your describing nouns, descriptive words and sentences that give you the concept.
But you have to figure it out.
You have to figure it out, and when you figure it out, the person that tell you long gone, so you can't even give a comeback when they serve out the first nudge. So that was me for like the first part of high school. Then like grade 9, they switched up the grades, so there'd be like a different experience. So I was happy to leave honestly, 8-4 and 7-4, you're good people and everything, but like sometimes there's like these people that just can't agree. So like when there was a mixture up in grade 9, I was relieved, and from then on it's been a clean slate. Like I was happy for the clean slate because everybody would associate me to the Rasta, and
in giving the jobs.
Yeah, they would associate, even if they're not really giving me jobs or trying to insult me, because if they're insulting me, they're also insulting the person, and that person is Ari, like he's friends with everybody. So we're so like he know everybody, and everybody would know me all of a sudden too. Okay. But anyway, grade 9 gave me a clean slate, and honestly, bullying, the quote unquote bullying stuff, in the sense like everybody at some point, everybody was like, you know what, they work too hard for pick on this girl. Yeah. I need to focus on work. If I'm gonna focus on this same girl could help me the next day, so I'm not gonna make fun of her now. It was like that. It was kind of like that. Like everybody did stop, they put down the joke mentality, like it's getting serious. 16 subjects, I don't have time. Like they was like, I would think in my mind, they don't have time to be like nitpicking you. But the thing is, to all those teenagers watching and those who are going into high school or sixth form or even college, be careful who you have friends with. Don't treat others like how you would want to be treated, in the sense that don't make them feel bad about something they can't change, and be an encourager. Don't put them down, because at the end of the day you don't know who or what that person is going through, and everyone's family is different. So like I come from a Christian family, and even though we're a family that will talk and reason things out, even if there's some things you feel like you don't want to talk about with them, always find someone that you can confide in, but be sure that you can trust that person and know that your information is confidential, because you wouldn't want something so hurtful to get out. And that happened many times with me, and like I'm a person who has been through has been through some amount of it. So you really have to choose and pick your friends wisely, and choose your company. Because even if they choose you, doesn't mean you have to choose them. You have to know what qualities you share and how you want to spend your life. Like
solid words.
Show your friend, and show me your company, and the person will know who you are, tell you who you are. So you really have to be careful of that.
All right. So still in school.
Yeah.
How did you find like the transition? Because in sixth form, how did you find the transition in terms of the workload, in terms of even maybe new friends? How was the transition?
Well, even some people that I didn't really talk to as much, we end up having a conversation, whether we'll have a similar subject or they went to UTech or university. I've had some of the same friends. Some people I taught less than I used to because different classes.
Workload?
The workload now, don't let the 4 subjects fool you, kid. There's more. It's like the smaller amount of subjects you have, the more content. So you'll have one subject at least 3 times a week. There's assignments, and there will be a test next week. So you have 5 assignments leading up to that test. And what I used to think at the time, is that these assignments were like studying purposes. But honestly, let's say you get 5 assignments on one topic. That topic doesn't really help you with studying, because there's several topics to cover in order to get that test or that exam done properly. So honestly, you have to prioritize, and whatever assignment comes, you do it. And if it's an assignment that is due like a week, or even hopefully a month or 2 weeks later, prioritize the ones that are closest in due date. So the workload has gotten, I would say it's somewhat heavier, but I'm still glad that it's 4 and no longer 16, because because these 4 now will gear me into what I really want to do as a career. So that's helpful, and I'm even still currently struggling to pick a major, because through this quarantine, honestly, a lot of people, especially me, I've been making some rethinking. I've been rethinking what I want to do, because From the start, when I told my dad an idea of what I wanted to do, I didn't want to be stuck around a desk with this cubicle feeling trapped. 'Cause I already feel trapped in quarantine in a matter of speaking, not really trapped. But yeah, I really want to travel. I really want to travel, and I want to see different places and even take my friends or my family on a getaway. I want to be able to do that, able to travel, because even as a Christian and a girl who is very conservative, I don't really get out a lot. It's either church or school, and now it's just church. But the Lord will lead me.
Amen, sister.
Amen.
All right. So, would you say that the pressure, or is the pressure on for you to excel and to do good? Did you feel that intenseness before? I mean, going into CXCs, and of course, even as you are now doing CAPES.
Honestly, after I know that last year can be different from all the other years that teenagers and people in college now have faced, but last year was like no other. School was at home, exams were in a few months, but like in a few weeks, but like the exam timetable kept changing. So when the third changed,
So the quarantine really does mess up a lot of stuff.
it messed up a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Well, okay, I was grateful for extensions like SBAs and when exam would come, because I was supposed to do an exam on my birthday. And it was of the subject that I hate the most, which was physics. So honestly, I told my friend the other day, this morning, that if I did physics on my birthday, I don't know if I'd still get that too. But either way, I'm grateful that there were many extensions. It was annoying at first, but after like the second change, I was like, you know what? Let this be. Plus paper 2 was scrapped because you are working from like, call it grade 9. You're doing essays upon essays upon essays, only to know that paper 2 is completely scrapped. So you have to rush and do paper 1s now. And even though paper 2 was scrapped, it was still tedious because it's not good to sort. It's still good to do your reading, but you have to study smart. You have to study smart with those type of changes. So it's the same thing now. I'm still glad and grateful for like doing the essays and stuff, because you never know what's gonna happen. And I think paper 2 is supposed to come out for CAPE. So as much as CXC was, it was special, it was hectic, I thought the worst was over. I hope it is over, but CAPE is approaching. And honestly, there has been a change, because there's a difference from doing 8 subjects where you have to do 8 mandatory and 4 subjects where 4 are mandatory, but you can choose 3 out of those 4, because there's communication studies. So once you have more of an interest in what you're doing, it helps, and it makes a big difference from CXC and CAPE.
So when you're doing your studies, like studying like exam preparations, how do you go about it?
Well,
because I know oftentimes I walk in the room and have a headphone on, listen to music at the same time studying, and I don't understand it.
Honestly, the music part, sometimes I don't even have music on. It's just me signaling to others that I'm out of it, so don't bother me. Sometimes.
So you trick us.
No, it's not trick. Now that you know, I hope it still has use.
Yeah. I'll leave you alone.
I hope it still has use.
I'll still act like I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like me putting on the headphones and stuff is like a signal to them that I am in a zone, and also for myself. It's like when you know in those superhero movies, there's some music that starts to play that gets that person in the zone. That's like with me. So studying wise, I've learned that I've done many different studying tactics, highlighting, trying to memorize, and all of them, they work at their own time and at separate topics and so. But with me, repetition is key. Repetition is key. Reading over is good, but also I tend to write a lot, especially points that are very important. So like I've been better at summarizing. So I like summarize a point or a topic and make sure I get the key concepts out. Yeah, and like what you do, especially with sociology, you just attach the theory to the person who created the theory. So like Durkheim, functionalism, Marxist, conflict theory, and then Max Weber, which is interactionism. That's just an example. But like, have something have a reminder attached to what you're studying. So if it's either a certain person or a certain object or a certain theory, attach it and have the definitions and have your key concepts. That can be for any subject.
Okay. So, a little bit about extended families. Who is the closest to your family as it stands now? Even from, well, as far back as you can recall.
The closest to my family?
Yes.
My grandma Jennifer.
Okay.
She's here like at least twice a week.
Okay.
Of recently. But yeah, she's the closest. And rest in peace, my other grandmother.
Until Lisa.
Because many times we'd go during Christmas, we'd go there almost every year. But like ever
Where's
since.
that again?
Westmoreland. What? Oh gosh, the place. Every time, like the place was literally in my hand just slipped out.
Waterworks.
Is Waterworks?
That's it.
Waterworks, Westmoreland.
Yeah.
Hi aunties and uncles. Hi Chantel. Hi Tootsie. There's so many of my cousins. I have so many cousins. Don't feel bad if I don't say all of them. I love you.
Things like greetings across the world. Auntie Kerisha, everybody.
All the Lees, all the Millwoods, oh my gosh, that is more. I love you, family.
So would you say your family is a very colorful one? Not your immediate, not mom and dad, no, but overall. Yeah.
Overall, it's extended. I think extended doesn't really encapsulate my family. Extended times 10 because my family, like on my blood and my mom's side, it's a similar structure. Maybe one is longer than the one, but you can never really know. Because as I say, you never know who's your family. There's always some cousin around the corner. Like I have family everywhere, and I'm pretty sure all around the world too. So
quite so.
It's a good feeling to knowing that you have family in anywhere in any place. So it's good to help your family, talk with them. I should be talking to you guys more often, but like with school, it's hard to just. It's hard to manage all of that plus school.
Okay.
But I
One
will
more question.
More often.
One more question. Or going a little further into church now. What has it been like being the daughter of one of the leaders of the church? You know, daughter of a deacon. Do you find Let's hear what you have to say about that.
Daughter of a deacon. Honestly, I know that there's been a stigmatism, which sometimes is true, especially with the term pastor's daughter. But like daughter of a deacon is similar in that aspect. But I'm not trying to be a rebel. It's not like I'm a bookworm either, or I'm a kiss up. I just know that, especially at church, I wouldn't conduct myself in a way that would bring shame upon my family or myself or degrade myself. I'm very conservative, I said. I'm basically in the image of my parents, like mixed image. So being my dad's daughter and being the deacon of a daughter.
Daughter of a deacon.
Daughter of a deacon. I've been taught and grown to be respectful to elders, be respectful in that service. Never be too afraid to worship, because that is always acceptable. And even when for me it could be a simple hand raise and me talking and sometimes even crying, because mostly I would just cry when I'm in a service. Like if I really feel like God's presence, I would just start crying. I'm not really one to be running up and down and saying something that sounds prophetic or like God is speaking through me. That would be nice, but I wouldn't want to see myself. I wouldn't want to see myself after doing that. I'd kind of feel embarrassed. So I'm very kept together.
Composed.
I'm very composed.
So do you find though that there's a high expectation of you? And I don't think it would be as high as the pastor's daughter, but do you find there's any expectation of you from both your peers and those who are elders in the church?
Well, From my peers, they know. I think the only time there'd be expectations is that one time when that friend or friend sees you angry. It's like them find that one time and say, I'm never know, am I Christian, you know? I know I'm a Christian, but we get upset too.
Mm-hmm.
And there's flesh and there's spirit and there's soul.
Mm-hmm.
So my soul, my soul is supposed to be my spirit at all times. But then there's my flesh. So there's times, well not many times, not recently, that I can be angry. I won't be spouting out bad words, but I'll be like really upset, and then my face shows it, and I can have an impatience with it. Like sometimes I don't want to hear what you want to say. Sometimes I let you speak, and then when you speak, I don't have anything else to say to you. That's with peers sometimes, and that's been a long time since, because I have been an expert of choosing my friends and who to keep close to.
So at church then, there's no pressure.
There's no pressure at church.
Okay.
With elders, the only pressure would be like, well, not even pressure, but like there's an activity or there's something that should be done and your name is the first one that called. and sometimes even feel like when there's something to be done and no one is volunteering, I used to be the first one to be like, I'll do it, and like then people would follow. But like, yeah, I would sometimes be a leader. I would sometimes, especially in like Bible study, I remember when Christmas programs, like my name would be called up a lot. Well, there used to be categories. I would be participating a lot and everything. So I was like one of those model Bible school students.
So it doesn't feel like pressure. It feels like.
It doesn't feel like pressure. I like, one thing I realized for me distinctly is that as much as it might be a bother, it might be somewhat of a bother to some people to be called upon to do this and that. But I realized that it's good to be useful. It's good to be seen as a helping hand. It's good to be seen as it's good to contribute. I hate and I don't like being called a bench warmer. I've never been called that. I'm grateful for that, but it just I don't want to be seen like I'm just taking up space for someone else that could be here. Mm-hmm. So at church, I try to be as active as I can be. If I'm given a task, I will do it to the best of my ability. Because not always, I'm not in everything. So when I'm given a task, I do my best and want the best to come out of it. So even when it doesn't work out the best it can be, I'll be upset, but I'll just let that go and move on.
Okay. So, as we come down to a close, how would you describe your overall journey as a Christian?
Because I'm like 17 and a 3/4 now, I don't feel like my life has truly begun yet, especially over the past 2 years now. But in summary,
you have no regrets. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I have no regrets per se for everything, every trial, every tribulation. I haven't really experienced tribulations yet, but any trial or any victory or hardship that even my parents could be going through, and I just understand and feel empathetic in that way, like how hard it is for them, or
because
in a situation.
Because there have been challenges that you grow up and see.
But what I realized that with every challenge, it makes you stronger, and the best is yet to come. So honestly, I have no regrets, and I just pray that God continue to renew my strength with this quarantine as well, because everything is a new experience nowadays, and you just have to learn how to bounce back and bounce forward.
So what would be your one thing you want to tell any teenager who is considering becoming a Christian even now, or they are going through some challenges? What word of encouragement would you have for them?
A word of encouragement, it would be to honestly don't put too much pressure on yourself. School might be stressful, being at home might be stressful, probably the people around you aren't the best people, but know that you have a friend in God, and that you could be speaking to yourself. Like, to other people you could be speaking to yourself, but you're speaking to God. Like, you're literally having a conversation, asking Him, where should I go next? In that respect, trust yourself and trust in God, and know that when you come when there's a hard challenge in front of you, just see the finish line. See what's going to happen after that. Vision yourself after that trouble or struggle. And know that if you persevere, you can find your way out of that darkness or that gray area.
Okay. All right. This has been another conversation with Elise. This was Jordan and her little segment. So until next time, see you on the other side. Bye-bye.